to the media after he attended the GST meeting. Now, he seemed to suggest that the government may cut GST on helicopter services used by devotees to visit Kedarnath and Badrinath.
जो हेलीकॉप्टर सेवा हमारे यहाँ जैसे बद्रीनाथ, केदारनाथ या अन्य जो हमारे तीर्थ स्थल हैं या धार्मिक स्थल हैं या हमारे धाम जिनको हम बोलते हैं, उसके ऊपर जो जीएसटी है वो 5% का जो हमारा सुझाव था उसको मान लिया गया है। और उम्मीद कर रहा हूँ कि वो जब नोटिफिकेशन जारी होगा तो हमारे जितने भी श्रद्धालु हैं आने वाले, क्योंकि हमारे यहाँ आप जानते हैं 4 धाम यात्रा में बहुत सारे लोग आते हैं, तो स्वाभाविक रूप से उनको एक इससे लाभ होगा। और हमारा जो मंतव्य है यानी उत्तराखंड का या हमारा माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी का, वो इसमें आज निर्णय हुआ है।
And there is, of course, expectation that GST on health insurance might be reduced. We've spoken to a host of people on that, but we'll go across to that later. Let's first go across to Mr. Ajay Roti. He's the founder and CEO of Tax Compass. Ajay, good evening. Thank you very much for joining us on the broadcast. Of course, Ajay, a host of issues being discussed, but what we are gathering from our sources and the sound bites, that we are getting from the meeting is that perhaps reducing the tax burden on health insurance from the current 18% to, or perhaps exempting certain categories of individuals like senior citizens is something that we can realistically expect. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we can. Multiple reasons for that. This is something that's been discussed in the past. There have been other council meetings where this has come. There is enough work that's been done. There's also internally, if you remember, Mr. Gadkari had written a letter, and that was all over the social media. And then, so there's some work that's done in the background within the government as well, according to me. And therefore, now is a good time. And I don't think they would exempt it fully, because if you fully exempt it, then there will be a technical issue of the input credit becoming a cost, and therefore they may do something like a 5% or whatever, and then effectively, the benefit gets passed on to the users or the consumers. And they may exempt some specific categories, but I don't think it will be taken to zero, and I don't think it should be taken to zero. 5% is a good rate.
Right. Also, Ajay, we have been getting some reports, particularly I saw one report coming on ANI that a proposal to tax online payments above 2,000 rupees is likely to be discussed and is perhaps been discussed in the council meeting. We still don't have any clarity on it. Now, currently, of course, online payments are made through payment gateways and they are not essentially taxed. So how do you think something like this will change things around? And it's going to be very significant if it happens.
Yeah, so I think this is one which has been widely misplaced provision which has been discussed on social media. And I think the headline that's been presented and the way it's been viewed is completely wrong in my view. So what is being discussed is not a GST on 2,000 rupees or transactions less than 2,000 rupees. What is being discussed is GST on any charges any of these platforms can levy or may be levying on transactions below 2,000 rupees. So if you and I were to transact below 2,000 rupees at 1,000 rupees, I don't think there'll be a GST of 18% on the 1,000 rupee transaction. But sometimes if you see on some of the payments you make, you would be the fees would be 1,000 rupees, but there would be a 5 rupee or a 3 rupee platform fee that will get charged, and there is GST on that, if you remember. So 5 rupees GST and 5 rupees transaction fee and then GST. So that was not there below 2,000, and they are really thinking of bringing in for transactions below 2,000 any charges that the payment gateway charges, not really on the transaction value of the 2,000 rupees that you and I would be paying.
Right. So we'll have to, of course, wait and watch out for what comes from that. But apart from that, Ajay, largely, we even before the last GST Council met, there was some amount of expectation that perhaps rate rationalization will be discussed. And today as well, that's the same story that we are seeing. There has been talk of combining the 12 and the 18% slabs and, of course, the overall of the existing 4-tier GST rate structure. What is your sense on that? Is it too early? Because this is just the second meeting of the GST Council, after the new government formation sort of took place.
Yeah, so while this is new from a government, the third term, like you're rightly putting, but this is again something that's been in the work for a while. There's a fitment committee that's in place, which is examining whether there's a need to rationalize the rates. I think in the long run, everybody is clear and there's consensus that we should not be having these 4 rates, possibly one rate which applies to most goods, and then one demerit rate which is for certain what we call sin goods and where luxury consumption and things like that, and one beneficial rate for essential services. I think we should go towards a 3 rate or a 3-tier GST rate. There's enough work that's happened on that, so it's not sort of something that's just come up. Maybe the Fitment Committee recommendations, reports, etc., could have been discussed today. I don't know if there'll be a decision taken immediately, but there will be some more. I think we will have made some more progress on rate rationalization. Not too early. I think it's a good time for them to be considering that now.
All right. Now, what we were hearing, and we've been hearing about it for some time, is, the area of discussion around the issuance of notices to IT companies. If you remember, there was, regarding their overseas operations, there was that whole news that came in of Infosys being issued that notice. And then, of course, it was, clarified later on. But are we expecting some bit of clarification on that? Because that has been one key demand.
So, typically in most of these council meetings, some of these interpretation issues, some of these issues which have got picked up by the field, as we call, which is the officers when they're examining, those clarifications come. Even in the 53rd meeting, even though it was immediately after the FM took charge for the third term, the GST Council did consider a lot of these operational issues and clarified a variety of them. So there is an expectation that this could get clarified. But for the IT companies, the notice that's been issued is again issued. It's been there for a long time. It was there even in the service tax days. So while it could be that or it could be other things, I do expect a few clarificatory notifications or decisions on some of the things which has been contested in the recent past, including the IT issue that you raised.
Right. Now, one of the key issues that has been spoken about for a while now is the inverted duty structure. Last time round, we were expecting something to move, but, the minister said that it was too early to look at it. But this is obviously something that has been an issue and has resulted, in blockage of cash flow for various industries, particularly, textile, solar, edible oils, etc. So are we expecting any movement on that?
So, inverted duty structure, as to put it in very layman terms, is where your inputs have a higher GST than your outputs, and therefore you'll not be able to use all of your input credit, and therefore it becomes a cost. As a concept, I don't think they can address inverted duty structure and take that out, because it has to be for specific transactions, specific goods, specific sector. There was some correction for cement and few others that happened in the past. They keep reviewing it. They keep addressing wherever there are significant inverted duty structures. We could see some of those corrected this time, but I don't think they can correct the entire issue of inverted duty structure without getting into specific goods and specific transactions or specific sectors.
All right. And finally, there was a lot of talks on lowering the rates for online gaming. That didn't come through last time round. Today also, we are not, any confirmations on it. Very likely that it could be skipped.
Yeah, so I'm also hearing that it's been deferred, and this is more on what news I'm picking up on social media. And I'm not too surprised, because, again, this is not a very easy decision. There are states which have been pushing for it. You take Sikkim or you take Goa, etc. The FMs have always been telling that this is a sector which helps them on tourism, which helps their economy, and therefore you can't be overtaxing them. There is representation by the gaming industry. This issue is before the courts. So I don't think they would have anyway taken the decision in a hurry. Even here, there was a committee, and the committee was to come up with comments on what has been the impact. If you remember, GST at 28% has been introduced on gaming. And when they brought in, they said in 6 months, we will review it. And that's the period we are in currently right now. So therefore, there will be some data points. There will be some, information that they would have gathered from the field, and the committee would have possibly presented their views today. I don't think a decision would have been taken in any case today. I think it will be deferred, and it's likely to be taken in the meetings in the future.
All right, Ajay, appreciate you joining us. and taking us through what we can expect the FM and other of those ministers to come out and talk about. Thank you very much, Ajay. All right, let's now move on to the auto space. And Road and Transport and Highways Minister Nitin Gadkari has said that 40% of India's pollution is due to the transport sector. While addressing the 64th ACMA annual session, he urged car makers to give EV options to customers. Listen.
The 40% of the air pollution in the country is because of transport sector. I am the minister who is responsible for that. Is it good? And actually, I'm really telling you, I never want to, actually in Delhi, every time infection is there. And one of the important reasons is pollution. So the ethics, economy, ecology and environment. These three are the important three pillars of the society. And I feel that we need to protect our country from air pollution, water pollution and sound pollution. And that is the reason, first thing. So my suggestion is, now you understand the economics. I got opportunity to launch a CNG scooter of Bajaj. And Raju was telling me that if 1 kilometer in petrol, the cost is coming 2 rupees 25 paisa, and in 1 kilometer for CNG, if you are using, the cost is coming 1 rupee. So there is more than 50%, 60% saving in the fuel cost. Then consumer is going to take that. If you want to capture the market and increase your share, you have to give the option to the people. Accept the best technology in the world, cost-saving fuel technology in the world, creating less pollution, and having reasonable good cost, they already have a good future. Those presently, they have got good sale. They have good market cap, but they don't want to change. I am a best wisher for them, but they will face the problem. So this is the time that you have to change as far as the market is changing. You have to change as far as the choice of the people is changing. And in the interest of the nation, the society, economic point of view and pollution point of view, government, it is our duty to implement that policy.
All right, now the Union Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal has said that India has to show the world that it's the one-stop shop for auto components.
You want to talk automobiles, you want anything related to the auto sector, one-stop shop, Bharat. And that's the story that has to go out to the world. And I'm really proud that ACMA has successfully put India's automobile sector, India's capabilities, India's competitiveness, our competitive advantages on the world map. You have very successfully taken Made in India to the rest of the world.
And NDTV Profit's Tushardeep Singh was present at ACMA's annual session, and he brings us exclusive interviews from the auto and the auto ancillary space.
So exports for us at the auto component industry stands at about 21.2 billion. The rate of growth of export is higher than the rate of growth of import, so that's the good news. When we say make in India for India and the world, I think what we need to really focus on is on high levels of quality, high levels of skilling, and high levels of localization. We need to invest in R&D. We need to focus on design. And if we can put all this together, yeah, we're going to achieve what we set out to do.
If our GDP continue to grow, our per capita income continue to grow, our road infrastructure, which is going very well, other infrastructure, we have no limit to grow. Today we are 4 million. I foresee something around 10 million in 8 to 10 years. Okay. And about the two-wheeler, we are around 18 million, 19 million. China is 10 million, 1 crore. Then we will also grow maybe single digit this year, maybe little less, but continuous future growth will be there. As far as auto component industry in Uno Minda, we have a target to grow 1.5x, then the industry grow. Okay. And fortunately, we are in two-wheeler, car, as well as CV.
Now, the Minister of Steel and Heavy Industries, H.D. Kumaraswamy, has highlighted the impact of FAME-2 schemes in the adoption of EVs. He also said that the rollout of FAME-3 EV subsidy scheme is likely to take place in a couple of months.
The impact of the FAME-2 scheme, which promotes the adoption of electric and hybrid vehicles to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. With a total budget of 11,500 crore, this initiative is driving the electrification of public transportation across India. Furthermore, the Electric Mobility Promotion Scheme, launched in March 2024, is providing an additional boost to the 2 and 3-wheeler EV segments with a 778 crore outlay. A key pillar of the government efforts is fostering innovation and technological advancement. The creation of technology innovation platforms is bringing together industry stakeholders, academic institutions, and research bodies to drive collaborative research and development.
Now, on to an update from the aviation sector. SpiceJet stocks gained after the company announced that it had signed a deal to restructure debt worth $40 million with Carlyle Aviation. Aditya Rao, who tracks the space, joins us with more details. Aditya, hi. Tell us a bit more about how this restructuring is working.
Basically, SpiceJet's financial troubles have taken the center stage in the aviation space right now, and the existing lender, Carlyle Aviation, has come for its rescue. Carlyle Aviation is basically converting its part of debt into equity, and this part of conversion will result into the reduction of promoter stake in the SpiceJet. SpiceJet's promoter stake from 47% will come down to 45%, and in turn, Carlyle Aviation will also get nearly 4% stake in the airline right now. So what basically is going to happen after this restructuring is that SpiceJet is going to get around 336 crores from Carlyle Aviation, and the current debt, which is at 4,300 crore, will be reduced by the same amount. The airline is also looking forward to raise money from QIP and warrant issue to promoters. This money is going to be what the airline is telling right now. This amount is going to be somewhere close to 3,200 crores. So all in all, SpiceJet is making all the attempts to come out of the financial turbulence it's facing right now, and the issue is not so small that it's not impacting the customers as well, because customers are continuously being impacted and they are denied boarding at several airports, which has been a serious trouble in the past few months.
All right, now the Minister of Civil Aviation, Ram Mohan Naidu, has spoken about the ongoing crisis at SpiceJet as well. He said that the ministry is keeping a close watch.
SpiceJet को हम देख रहे हैं अपनी तरफ से भी, जो भी ये छोटे छोटे इश्यूज हो रहे हैं उनको भी हम सर्कुलर दे रहे हैं कि उसको ठीक करना चाहिए जल्दी से जल्दी जितना हो सके. तो हम भी कोऑपरेट कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि हमें भी ये जिस तरह से डिमांड है अपने देश में, हमें भी ज़्यादा एयरलाइंस को काम करने की ज़रूरत है. तो उस हिसाब से हम बैलेंस करते हुए चल रहे हैं कि जो समस्याएं हैं उनको भी ठीक करें और जो एयरलाइंस है वो भी ठीक तरह चले.
Well, the minister also spoke about the rising airline ticket prices during the festive season. He said that his ministry is monitoring fares across all airlines.
हम ज़रूर एयरलाइंस वालों से बात कर रहे हैं, तो हमें वो सेंसिटिविटी को आगे बढ़ा रहे हैं कि इस तरह के समय सब लोग अपने घर जाना चाहते हैं, सब लोग अच्छे तरीके से त्यौहार बनाना चाहते हैं. तो हमने या वेस्ट बंगाल हो या केरला हो, कहीं और भी कोई भी त्यौहार हो, हम लोगों की यही कोशिश रही है कि हम एयरलाइन वालों से बात करें, उनको ये सिचुएशन समझाएं कि इसका अब दुरुपयोग ना करें, अच्छी तरह से वो प्राइसेस सीमित रखकर उनको भी वो सुविधा दें. तो हम अपनी तरफ से जो चीजें करनी चाहिए वो सब करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं.
And Bajaj Housing Finance's IPO has been fully subscribed on the first day. It's said to have been the biggest IPO in the housing finance market, and Subhana Sheikh brings us more details.
Bajaj Housing Finance's IPO worth 6,560 crore rupees was fully subscribed on the first day of its bidding today. Now, at the end of market hours today, non-institutional investors bid more than twice the shares that was reserved for them at over 3 times, and followed by retail investors at 1.23 times. The portion for qualified institutional buyers saw a subscription of over 8 crore shares out of 17 crore shares reserved for them. Ahead of its issue opening, the housing financier already raised over 1,700 crores through an anchor book, which included anchor investments such as the government of Singapore, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, HSBC, Invesco, Fidelity, and Nomura, among others. Now, these shares are being offered at 66 to 70 rupees at that band, and the IPO will close on Wednesday. Now, this IPO by Bajaj Group has come to the primary market after 30 years. And with this IPO, Bajaj Housing Finance will now become the most valuable listed home loan provider in the country. The company primarily focuses on providing mortgage loans to upper-end individuals and large-scale developers in the country. And it, with its strong parentage by Bajaj Finance, it has an extensive branch network of 215 at the end of the June quarter. The 7-year-old housing finance company is also a non-deposit taking company in terms of its assets under management. It has the best asset quality amongst its peers in the industry.
Now, apart from Bajaj Housing Finance, there are a few other IPOs expected this week. Let's take a look at the top 3.
Right, so 3 IPOs that should be on your radar, this week. First one, Cross Limited, where it's a leading manufacturer in terms of trailer axle and suspension. The IPO size is 500 crores and the price band is 228 to 240. Now, in terms of the subscription date, it started today, 9th of September, and will end on 11th of September. The lot size is 62, so minimum investment for a single lot stands at 14,880. Now, in terms of key details of the company, well, in terms of 2-year CAGR growth, revenue has grown by 28%, gross profit by 24%, EBITDA by 40%, and profits by 54%. The next one is also from the auto space, that is Stalin Tire. The IPO size is 230 crore. The price band is between 215 to 226. The subscription date, again, it started today and it will end on 11th of September. The minimum lot size is 66. So minimum investment here is 14,916. The next one is PN Gadgil Jewellers, which will open for subscription on 10th of September, that is tomorrow, and close on 12th of September. The IPO size is 1,100 crores and the price band is 456 to 480. The lot size is 31 and minimum investment is 14,880. Now, in terms of key details, it's the second largest organized jewelry player from Maharashtra. The company will add 12 new stores with this IPO funding, and the revenue has grown by 35% YOY, and EBITDA margins have doubled as compared to FY23. So these are some of the IPOs that will definitely be on the watch out for during this week.
All right, now we have had the first confirmation of a case of Mpox in the country. Now, the government has also issued a directive over the Mpox outbreak and suggested screening, testing and contact tracing of all the suspected patients. States have also been asked to identify hospitals to prepare isolation facilities for treating suspected as well as confirmed cases. Now, a confirmation that has come in from the Health Ministry has said that the Mpox patient is stable and there is no immediate risk to the public. The presence of Mpox virus of West African clade 2 has been confirmed in a patient who has been isolated. Well, that's all we have time for right now on The Big Story. Thank you very much for tuning in, but do stay with us as we bring you more news.
The 18th of September will be one of the most watched days for global markets. A turning point that could change the course of the financial markets and economies. The big shift is coming.
The time has come for policy to adjust. The direction of travel is clear, and the timing and pace of rate cuts will depend on incoming data, the evolving outlook, and the balance of risks.
It's not about if, it's about how much. Will the Fed cut rates by 25 basis points or 50 basis points? What will the impact on India be? Catch all the action live on NDTV Profit.
अगर फूड प्राइसेस ज़्यादा है, हम सिर्फ जिसको कहते हैं कि कोर इन्फ्लेशन कम हो गया, ठीक है, इन्फ्लेशन कम हो गया, अगर वो कहेंगे वो क्रेडिबल नहीं रहेगा। फिलहाल हमको ये कॉन्फिडेंस है कि इन्फ्लेशन कम हो रहा है और 4% के आसपास पहुंच जाना चाहिए, लेकिन इस साल का एवरेज हमने 4.5% दिया है। यंग इंडियंस आर एस्पिरेशनल और इसमें कोई गलत चीज़ नहीं है। जब एक कंट्री प्रोग्रेस करता है, जब एजुकेशन लेवल, टेक्नोलॉजी आगे जाता है, तो नेचुरली यंगर पॉपुलेशन जो है they get attracted to other markets. Youngsters are going into stock markets. If youngsters are buying insurance products, if they are buying, investing through mutual funds, it's a good thing. It should happen. Credit growth and credit disbursement has become very fast thanks to technology. लेकिन deposit mobilization जो है आज भी वो physical है. टेक्नोलॉजी जितना बढ़ता जा रहा है, attempts to hack into systems, attempts to do cyber frauds, they are all growing. इसमें हमने बहुत अवेयरनेस क्रिएट किया। हमने अवेयरनेस थ्रू एडवर्टाइजमेंट्स, थ्रू टेलीविज़न, सारे मीडिया जो चैनल है उसमें हमने बहुत एडवर्टाइज किया, लोगों में कॉन्शियसनेस क्रिएट किया।
When the whole day passes like a blur, the news just whizzes past, and you're trying to stay informed. It is our job to bring you news that truly matters. At Profit 360, we cut through the clutter, the Wall Street deals, finance and policy news that could shape your tomorrow, the newsmakers, the trendsetters, and the innovators. In 30 minutes, we've got you covered. So stay ahead, stay informed, and stay profitable with Profit 360.
Headlines you start your day with. What matters worldwide is now in the palm of your hands. Get ready to seize the day and maximize your financial potential. Stay ahead of the curve with all you need to know on NDTV Profit.
Listen to the voices of reason as they talk about corporate health and investing principles with me, Neeraj Shah, on my show, Talking Point.
Let's be real, guys. There are many financial experts out there. Which stocks to target? What's good for long term? When to buy? When to sell? How do you stay ahead of all the financial noise to achieve your dreams?
You can accomplish all your financial dreams. Let us worry about giving you the right investing insights on the Portfolio Manager.
Bro, what are you doing?
I'm trading FNOs.
So, have you made any money?
Oh, it's simple. If you think the market is moving upwards, just buy Nifty call option. But if you think the market could slide downwards,
simplifying futures and options trading.
Don't worry about the future. We've got your options covered.
Hello and welcome to the Mutual Fund Show. I'm Neeraj Shah. The next 20-25 minutes we'll talk about all about mutual funds, of course, but what kind of funds in a market scenario which is increasingly turning a bit choppy, uncertain at very high valuations. So the question that we asked to our guest today, and our guests today are Juzair Gabajiwala, Director of Ventura Securities, and Nisreen Mamaji, Founder and CEO of Moneyworks Financial Services. Both of you, thank you so much for joining in. And the question that I have at the top of my mind today is that for an investor who is not an out-and-out equities person, let's say she's investing in equity markets, but she's also a bit conservative, and she doesn't have a very large risk appetite. Should that person choose hybrid funds as an SIP or a lump sum at the current juncture if the person is investing for a time period between 1 and 3 years? I think that's the principal question, because I'm sure this is the case for a lot of people who are right now getting a bit nervous with the market valuations and thinking, how do I stick to my investing policy of an SIP, at the same time mitigate the little bit of a risk? So Nisreen, I'll start with you. Are hybrid funds a good option for something like this or not really?
No, so I think for a risk-averse investor who also wants risk-adjusted returns, because if you go for a 100% debt fund, then obviously you will not be meeting inflation and you will not be making the desired return. So therefore, I think that the option which is called the equity savings fund in the dynamic asset allocation category or in the balance category with a minimal equity allocation. So ICICI Prudential Equity Savings Fund has currently